History likes simple heroes. Villains on one side. Saints on the other. But real history doesn't work that way. Some men are praised as symbols of peace. And condemned as threats by those who feared them. Some are called terrorists before they are called presidents. This is not the story of Nelson Mandela as a monument. This is the story of Nelson Mandela as a human being. Shaped by injustice, anger, violence, patience, and choice. This is a story about what forgiveness costs. To understand Mandela, you must understand apartheid. Apartheid was not chaos. It was order. Laws decided where you could live. Who you could marry. What schools your children could attend. What jobs you could hold. Whether your presence itself was legal. Violence was not accidental. It was structural. For the black majority of South Africa, the state itself was the oppressor. Nelson Mandela was born into this system. Not as a revolutionary. But as a man who believed, at first, that the law could be reasoned with. Mandela trained as a lawyer. He believed in institutions. In negotiation. In gradual reform. Early in his political life, Mandela advocated nonviolent resistance. Petitions. Protests. Strikes. But the state responded with mass arrests. Police brutality. Killings of unarmed civilians. The message was clear. Peaceful protest would be met with force. This is where the narrative becomes uncomfortable. Mandela helped form Umkhonto we Sizwe, the armed wing of the African National Congress. From one point of view, it was sabotage, not terrorism. Targets were infrastructure, not civilians. Violence was framed as a last resort. From another point of view, it was illegal. It threatened national security. It escalated conflict. To the apartheid government, Mandela was a terrorist. To many black South Africans, he was finally someone willing to fight back. This duality never left him. Mandela was arrested. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. For 27 years, the world moved on without him. Inside prison. Hard labor. Isolation. Humiliation. The system expected him to break. Instead, something else happened. Mandela learned the psychology of his enemies. He listened. He studied. He waited. Some critics say prison softened him too much. Others say it sharpened him perfectly. While Mandela was imprisoned, fear grew. Among white South Africans. Fear of revenge. Fear of civil war. Fear of losing everything. Among black South Africans. Fear that compromise would mean betrayal. Fear that justice would be delayed forever. Mandela stood between two abysses. One wrong move could have led to mass bloodshed. When Mandela was released, many expected anger. They expected retribution. Instead, they saw restraint. From one perspective, forgiveness prevented civil war. It saved countless lives. It allowed a peaceful transition. From another, it let perpetrators escape punishment. It preserved economic inequality. It asked victims to move on without justice. Mandela knew this criticism. He accepted it. He chose stability over revenge. As president, Mandela governed a divided nation. He was celebrated internationally. At home, opinions were more complex. Some saw him as a savior. Others as a compromiser. Some as both. Mandela himself admitted. Freedom did not erase poverty. It did not erase trauma. It did not erase memory. It only opened the door. Nelson Mandela was not perfect. He endorsed violence, then rejected it. He demanded justice, then chose forgiveness. He inspired hope and disappointment. But perhaps that is precisely why his story matters. Because he reminds us that morality under oppression is never clean. And that leadership sometimes means choosing the least destructive option. Not the most satisfying one. Mandela did not promise healing. He promised survival. And sometimes, survival is the most radical victory of all. History asks us to choose sides. Humanity asks us to understand the cost of every choice. Nelson Mandela lived inside that cost. Human after all.